Wow, it's been a minute since I did a video, and I've been going through. I had the whole COVID thing, and thank God I am. I'll say 99%. You know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and claim the whole 100% cure from COVID. Amen. I have not did a video. I have done posts, but one of the things that I had realized in my downtime was that I realized that one of that it was a reason why I know everybody was going through COVID. Everybody people were getting sick, and family members was adjusting how they needed to adjust, and but when it became my time, I decided I had to step back and look at some things, and during that downtime, I had a chance to not only reevaluate my business and the direction that I was going, but I also had a time to just reflect on the significance of the downtime itself, and what did it really means, and what I realized, guys, was that I needed to fight really hard this season. I realized that this season was not just a normal season. It wasn't regular. It wasn't business as usual. I had this high hopes, leaving out of 2021 and busting into 2022. Shout out to all the students that went through the It's Possible challenge. And it went on just a little bit longer than it should have, simply because I did get sick and I was so out of it. But I really appreciate you guys staying on in there and completing that course. You got some big things. I know you have big dreams, and I'm just grateful and thankful for the opportunity to lead you through that process, because as we talked in the class, that it wasn't anything new. It wasn't anything that was so special. It was just putting you in the right environment to just pull out what God has already deposited into you. So I'm greatly honored to be your guide in that process. But then we come to the new year, and then you're so excited about things, and then all of a sudden you get sick, and you can't speak, and you can't get out the bed, and you get all this stuff going on, and but now you find yourself in some quiet time. So today I am breaking my silence. I'm officially back into the saddle. For all you ones who prayed for me and sent me messages. Listen, I know I'm horrible with messages, but this time I really do have an excuse. So, but I'm here, guys, and I'm ready to get back in. And I do have a lot of things that that's in my mind that I was writing notes on, and right before this sickness hit, I start talking about expectations. I start talking about the war that we're in, in the family, and how that war was specifically attacking men and women. And listen, or the battle was between male, female, husband, wife, male. The battle was a gender battle, and I wasn't really surprised. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Eric, watch your words on this," but y'all just bear with me, okay? I wasn't really surprised when because right after God spoke to me about this this war, that's when I started. That's when my health started, going that COVID just kicked in. Actually, by that time, I believe it kicked in again. And I knew that I was in the right track. I knew that I was heading in the right direction. I knew that that now, more importantly, devil, you thought you was going to take me out. You thought you was going to silence me. But what you did was you actually motivated me more. That's what you did. And so now, what I want to do, I want to just talk to you real quick about, something that, I seen on social media today, not quite this, but it inspired me to say, Eric, man, go ahead and break your silence with this. Because, if you don't know, for those who don't know, my name is Eric Kirk, and I am a relationship coach. And guys, every time I say that, it's hard for me to say because, I think about, somebody who, typically, if you think about somebody that's a coach in basketball, maybe he's, he was a great player coaching, maybe he was a piano coaching, or he or she was a piano coaching, she was very gifted, pianist, so. Maybe when you think of coach, like I'm a basketball fan, and I think of the Phil Jacksons of the world, and maybe when you look at those people, that maybe the ones who have coached some people to greatness, maybe you think of them and you start thinking that, okay, well, in order for them to be an effective coach in that area, whatever that area is, maybe they have some type of specialty. Maybe they have a gifting. Maybe they some type of anointing, or maybe just simply they were just the best in it, and they best in their arena, best in that category, and they just decided to start coaching after their career. I don't know how you look at coach. I don't know when I say relationship coach, I understand that word coach, but I don't know how you see it. But I want to explain to you who I am. You say, I'm a person that have failed, and when it comes to relationships, and when it comes to more specifically, because this is what I deal with in the area of just say marriage, and because there's a whole lot of relationships that we can have. We can have business relationships, friendship relationships, and then we also deal with marital relationships, and I deal with them all. I can coach you in every aspect. And this is what I realized, guys. See, I realized that all relationships are connected some type of way. I believe they all, whether it's in business or friendship, or whether it's in romantic, or a marital relationship, they all have some common traits, and we're going to deal with those common traits. I've also so. When I look at myself, I can say when it comes to relationship and business, I say, man, I have excelled. I have really done well in that area, and I can look at in the area of friendships, and I can see success in that, and I look at these relationships, and I say, man, you're more than qualified for those, man. You've been doing it and doing it well. And then I look at the marital relationships, and I say, this is where my passion at. And then I realize that, man, in the area that I love the most, I have the most struggle. See, what I realize is just like when God gave me this word, and He said, well, man, you're gonna talk about this gender battle. You're gonna talk about this expectation, and you're gonna bring this to the fore. You're gonna promote this, and you're gonna help my people. And I said, God, yes, I'm ready for this challenge. And then, man, I'm attacked. And see, what I want you guys to know, see, some of you know, some of you don't know, but see, I was attacked. See, right as of right now, you know, just say I was married the majority of my life. I'm 52 years old, 52 years young now. I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, man, no way you're 52. Yeah, thank you, but yeah, I'm 52 years old. And for 33 years, my biggest battle has been in my marriage. On one hand, your greatest accomplishment is also your greatest downfall. And then you say, well, Eric, you know, how can you be a relationship coach? How could you focus in the area of marriage and you have suffered so much? And so I'm glad you asked that question, because this is what I want to deal with. And I'm gonna get to the point, but I want to take a moment and just share with you guys who I am. You know, see, I understand. I understand the struggle. I understand that in order. I understand failure. I understand the you know, when you want to when there's something that you want the most out of your life, the best thing that you want, however you want to look at it, and then you fail in it. There's something, man. Just imagine, whatever you want to accomplish. Maybe it's a successful business. Maybe it was maybe some of you have some political ambitions, and just say, that day that you was elected mayor, you was an elected governor, senator, that day you accomplished that goal. And then at that point, all of a sudden, all hell breaks through. And see, what I want you to understand is that there's no difference in a relationship. The relationship has to be cultivated. It's something that is going to be a forever fight. And the minute that you stop that intensity of the fight, and not a negative fight, I'm talking about whether it's the fight to just it's a fight of faith. It's a fight to say, what, I'm not gonna let anybody come in and tear what God put together. I'm gonna fight against myself. I'm gonna fight against my spouse. I'm gonna fight against everybody, whoever's coming against this thing that I covet. So I'm gonna fight against that. And then all of a sudden, if you like me, you find yourself divorced, and you find yourself in a situation where, how could something that, how could something that you hold so dear, how could you lose it? And so I pick up and I say, I pick up right here and answer your question. You say, well, Eric, who qualifies you? Why are you so qualified? I said, because I've been through every type of pain. I know what it feels like to lose it. And I look forward to building it back. You see, I know what the loss feel like. And see, so what I want to do, I want to speak to that newlywed. I want to speak to that. Let's go for it. I want to speak to that boyfriend and girlfriend, and I want to speak to that newlywed, and I want to speak to the ones that been married 5 years, and maybe we got some room for the ones that's been married 20 years and 40 years, because what I want to do is speak to you about your relationship. See, God has anointed me. Man, it's because it's not me. God has anointed me to speak to you. And see, what I want to do is deliver you a message. And this is the message that I want to deliver you today. I want to talk to you about the 3 stages of marriage. And see, so what I want you to do, if take a minute, okay, and if you know that fiance, that grab your fiance, grab grab your soon to be wife and grab your soon to be husband and say and push pause right now and make sure that they listen to this, because see this is one of those this is one of those things where I can go back and I can say, man, if I would have understood this when I got married, then I could have had a success. So now, so I'm talking to the ones, either you're about to get married and you want to make sure that you have success, or the ones who's married and you saying that, man, I don't want to mess this up like Eric did. I'm talking to you, okay? And I want you to make it, but I don't want you to do it by yourself. I need you to make sure that you get your significant other involved, okay? Because ironically, you don't have true success if you're married. You don't have true success alone, okay? So now that you got them here, now that we all on the same page, I want to talk about the 3 stages of marriage. And the reason why I think this is so important is because if you don't understand these stages, you're going to think that there's something that's going wrong with you. You're going to think that there's something that's either wrong with you, or you're going to think that something's wrong with your spouse. And what I have identified, and there's somewhere in these stages is where you start evaluating, and then you start making making changes in your life, because you're thinking that something's wrong with him or something's wrong with her, and then you start making these adjustments, and these adjustments cause you to derail your marriage. Okay. So let's jump into this thing. The first phase, the first stage, this marriage. Well, and let me explain it to you like this. Let me give you. I want you to understand this. What I'm about to explain to you can be found or should be found in a complete, continuous flow from day one of your marriage till you die. Okay. Now, oftentimes it's found into 3 phases. Okay, we're gonna identify those phases, but I want you to understand that ideally, if you say, well, what do ideally mean? I say this is how God designed it. This is that. That becoming one process that God speaks of, okay? And if you understand it, my prayer is that if you understand these stages, then when they come, it'll make sense to you, okay? But that first stage, is I can easily say the reason why you get married, the reason why you got married in the first place. Okay, I think you're gonna receive it better this way. So why did you get married? Why you plan on getting married, newlyweds or fiancés and boyfriend and girlfriend? Why do you want to get married? Well, because you're in love. See, that's that phase 1. See, phase 1. Then why am I married? Why do I want to get married? Because I love my everything, and I love him. So, but in that phase of love, that phase of marriage, man, the first phase is that you're going to get married, or you're going to marry for love. And man, that's a beautiful thing. Now, time goes on. Okay, things change. Now keep in mind, this is the original plan. This is how I want you to see it. I don't want you to see it as a separation, although you can experience it in your life as a separation, but that's not how God designed it. So you get the first phase is that you've got married for love, and then the second phase is money. And see, I want you to understand what happens is because when you first get married, everything is great. Man, everything is great. Y'all all in love. Let's say that you're 20 years old, 25 years old, and man, you married your high school man, sweetheart. You just married the one that you just know you're gonna be spending the rest of your life with. But I want you to fast forward, and say, let's say now you in your 40s, okay, and let's say now that your kids are all out of high school, okay, you 40, 45 years old, okay, man, then all of a sudden another phase kicks in, okay, that's that money phase, okay, because some things have shifted in your life. And see, if you looked at this thing separately, then right here, I want to let you know that because this money phase come, this is where a lot of marriages derail. You had the kids that tied you together, and you had a common goal, and y'all worked to see those kids get out of school, and then all of a sudden, kids are gone, they moved out, and now it's just you and your spouse, and you're wondering, what's the next move for me? So you start looking at yourself, and see, what I want you to understand is that, man, this is the part where God say, listen, yeah, it's a different phase, but man, I told you from the beginning that you was gonna have this cleaving part. But what happens is we get to this phase into the relationship. And that phase, we go from the love phase. I got married because I'm loving. Now we into this money phase, and now money is a big deal to you. And see, what I deal with finances, so I know that when you in your 40s, especially in your mid 40s, you have came to a crossroad. You have came to a place where we call middle age, and now all of a sudden you're going to sit back and you're going to look back at the past 20, 25 years, and you're going to evaluate yourself. And a lot of us is going to say, I don't like that. I don't like the past 20 of my years is not sufficient enough for me. So you start thinking about what it is that I can do better. And guys, this is where a lot of us say it's time to derail. I would say in my own personal life that this is when I seen that derail happen. And this is where I seen that disconnect. All hell broke loose, but it was normal. It was to come, because it's just a phase, and we have to be able to recognize those phases, because if we don't, we're going to look at our spouse and we're going to say, there's something wrong with you. And in order for me to get what I want, then I'm going to have to get it outside of you. And so you divorce. And then then you come this last phase. And this last phase is what I call the companion phase. And so we have the love phase, we have the money phase of the relationship, of the marriage, and then we have the companionship phase. And this companionship phase is where you get to a point, and because I'm in this phase where I'm looking at, I'm in the money phase of my life, and I'm looking at, I'm gonna tell you the eyes, and I talk to a lot of my brothers and sisters that's in this same phase of their life, and everything, man, that you can see, everything that you're focused on is money, money, money. Why? Because you and you didn't even identify it. You don't even know what it's called, but you know that there's something coming up, and it's called retirement. And you're saying, man, I got to build this nest right now because I didn't do it when I should have been doing it. I ain't do it in my 20s. I ain't do it in my 30s. But Man, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, and I have to work overtime. I am doing whatever it takes for me to accumulate this money. And you can literally look at yourself, and you'll know that you are consciously thinking about, how am I going to make more money? And then you also have a situation where you're going to say, I can upgrade. See, I'm already looking at my spouse, and I'm saying I'm not sure what's going on, but he's here or she's here, and maybe the reason why I hadn't accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish, maybe it's because of them. And keep in mind, you subconsciously, you're thinking about that third and last phase, and that companionship phase, because when you get to that phase, the only thing that you want to think about is, man, the race is over, man. We now it's time for us to chill, and now it's time for us to just relax, and when if a person gets to this stage, and you're with you with the one that you started out with, man, kudos. That is the most blessed feeling. You know what I'm talking about. Man, you see the couples, and you stop and you ask them questions, and you say, man, how long y'all been together? And they say, man, we've been married for 50 years and 6 years. And what do you ask them? Come on, man. What is the first thing that you want to know? You want to know, man, what does it take to stay together that long? And see, I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer to everybody, but I'm going to say that they had the ability to lean into the curves together. And see, I think what happens is that each one of those phases give you a curve. And, I think about it, if you're riding on a motorcycle, I had a chance to ride on a motorcycle with a friend, and I like them. I'm not a big motorcycle fan, although I'm a motorcycle fan. I'll just put it like that. I don't think I ever owned one, but I always talk about I want to own one. Hey, go figure. But I remember riding on I remember him giving me instructions. Gave me a helmet, and he said, "Listen, we're gonna hit some curves, and when we hit these curves, I need you to lean into the curve with me." So he told me, he said, hold on to me. He said, but when I go, he said, I'm gonna lean into the curve. He said, when I lean into the curve, I'm gonna need you to lean in the same direction that I'm leaning. And I asked him why. He said, because if you don't, man, we're gonna derail. Man, I'm gonna lose control. Man, we're going to fall off of this bike. And see, and then I started thinking about it in relationships. I said, these curves, and there's a lot of curves. I'm not saying that these three are the only curves. Man, there are hundreds of curves, and there's some that's tailor made. It could be sicknesses, it could be job changes. All of those are curves in your life. But relationships that last the test of time, are relationships when they just lean together into the curve. They just lean, and they just take those curves together. They just take those curves together. See, what happens is, what's happening is, we get into these points and these places, and we're saying, man, I don't know if I like the way that it's going, and that curve comes up. And instead of you just leaning on in that curve and get to that next stage, man, we derail it, because we constantly looking at ourselves, and we're asking ourselves, man, is this what it's supposed to be? And I understand that, you may not be the happiest person. I understand that. There's a lot of things in relationship that can bring you pain. But see, when you get into that point where, you're thinking about that companionship, because we hadn't got to that last phase. We hadn't got there yet, but we're thinking about it. And And it's not a big wonder why most divorce are, in that money phase. It's not a big surprise. It's not a big surprise that right, during that phase, right when where you're building, and you're saying, man, this is my last set of 40s. This is it for me. I got to make it happen now, because I don't have another set of 40s after this. When you're on your last set of 40s and you start looking at yourself and you're saying, am I riding with the right partner? You see, I need you to understand. I know what you're saying, man, Eric, man, of all the things that you can talk about, man, what is it about this that's so important? Because I need you to understand that you're going to be going through these phases, and if you don't get nothing else about what I'm saying, is just, man, when you pick that partner, man, and you get on that bike, learn how to lean into the curve, the ups and downs of a relationship. Learn how, to just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Lean with it, rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to do that, because it's only for a moment. Because see, what you want to do, what all of us want to do, and it's so far-fetched now, because the Bible told us in the very beginning that we're going to leave, cleave, and become one. And nobody took the time out to really look and see what that cleaving process looked like. I'm going to do a video, and I'm just going to talk about the cleaving process, because what I want you to understand is that, man, we understand leaving home and you leave mom and dad, and man, you cling to your spouse. We understand that part. That makes sense to us. And we can somewhat understand that becoming one process where, we're going to become one. We're going to be one team. And we can somewhat understand it. We don't fully understand become one, because most of the time, we don't get to death do us part. But we can understand the concept. But what I do know is that phase of that cleaving phase, we don't understand it. We're going to talk about it in another video. But what I will say is that cleaving process is a violent process. It's a cutting away of the flesh process. And God is simply saying that in order for you to become one, Eric, I'm going to have to cut some things away from you. If you look at the word cleave, it's where you get I wish I had my meat cleaver. Because it's a process where God literally takes a meat cleaver and he starts cutting away at your flesh. And the only thing we know is that it hurts like crap. And God said that in order for you to become as one, I look at it like this. I look at it like right now, man, this it's just me and you. Me and you. You ain't really boxing, but it's just me and you. But see, this is that process of where we're becoming as one. And then God pulls out that cleaver and he starts cutting away at our flesh. And then all of a sudden, we just start gelling as one. And see, this is that companionship. This is where I'm dreaming at. This is where I can't wait to get it. This is the place where, man, y'all just holding hands. Maybe, you're 70, 80 years old and you just taking your sweetheart and you taking a walk in the park. See, how many of you guys out there maybe you're in your 40s and your 30s and you're just thinking about that companionship, where you just walk in the park. You see, you're not gonna get there, unless you learn how to lean, just lean in the curve. And then, but I really want to talk to my babies out there. I want to talk to my sons and my daughters out there. I mean, because you got so much, you so excited and you got so much high hope. And I know, man, I've been there with you. I know what it feels like. And then, and I want you to know that, man, life is going to bring you a lot of curves. Relationships is going to be, relationships, man, you're going to marry your sweetie, man, that's going to be great. But those curves are going to come. God told us they was coming. He called it the cleaving process. Man, that process is going to hurt. But understand, man, if you can learn how to master leaning in the curve, man, you see, some people have to get those phases and they start out in love and then they divorce their lover because they get into that money part and they get into a curve. And then all of a sudden they derail and the next time they want to get the only thing that they're thinking about when they get on that second marriage is, man, he's gonna have to have money. She's gonna have to have money. Man, it's a reason why. It's a reason why. You're gonna focus on a lot of reasons why you focus on the money is because you just came from a divorce and you're trying to rebuild. I understand that. Man, I'm trying to rebuild some things. There were some things that I lost during that process. And so now that I'm in this second phase, man, so the only thing I'm thinking about is that, man, I'm going to have to marry somebody with some money. So, man, he's going to have to be a partner. She's going to have to be a financial partner. I can't do it all like I did it with the one that I married for love. That was the only thing that we needed. That's the only thing we talked about was how much in love we was, but we ran into a curve, and then now all of a sudden, man, we divorced, and then now we come to the second phase, and man, all you thinking about is, man, I got to marry somebody to help me out financially. It's all about the money. I ain't saying it's wrong. I'm just explaining it to you. You got to understand why you 40 and you 50 years old, and all you thinking about is the money. It's just a natural phase that you're in. And then when that relationship don't work, now you in your 60s, your 70s, and the only thing you're talking about, man, you just want somebody to grow old with. Man, I just want somebody to get through this life with. You ain't worried about the love, you ain't worried about money. You know that whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. Man, if you ain't built a dynasty, trust me, at that point you're done. There is no more, getting up early doing Facebook Lives. There ain't no more great ideas, man. You pretty much done. You understand it. Maybe you talking to your kids, or more likely your grandkids, about making it big. Maybe you having that conversation with them, but your time is done, and all you want to do is just walk in the park with your sweetie. That's all you're thinking about at that point. And see, the way that I explained it, so you're going to understand it, I explained it in a way to where if you didn't get it, I'm going to help you now. This process can be experienced by that same spouse when you was in your 20s. And then y'all go through your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Then all of a sudden you really experience what it means to become as one. You say, Eric, how can you identify becoming as one? Most people don't get there. I'm gonna be honest with you. But if you ever had known a situation where somebody said, the husband died, and then, a couple of days later, the wife died, or, wife died, and a couple of days later, the husband died. I said that's the true meaning of becoming as one, because they lived this life on this dispensation. They lived it together, and they just simply decided that life has no purpose without their sweetie. So they just allowed themselves to go on to glory. See, that's the truth. And I'm not saying that nobody, that, hey, well, if she lived another 5 years after. I'm not saying that she didn't love him. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that is where the trueness of becoming one. Man, I don't have a purpose without you. So that can be done with the same purpose, the same person. I'm sorry. It can be done with the same person. But if you got divorced, and so, people say, well, maybe you got divorced once, and then you experienced that with your second. You went through the money phase, and you're now in the companionship phase. Man, that's great. God bless you. Maybe you got divorced twice. Maybe your first one didn't work. Then the second one didn't work. But now you married the third time, and trust me, I don't care how old you are. If you'd have got divorced 3 times, and you really was putting everything that you had into this, your mentality is not the same. Your mentality is not the same. I know it's not 100%, but I do know that you're thinking about, man, I don't want to do this again. I want to get married, and I just want somebody to spend my life with. So I wanted to share that with you. Before I go, I want to share a couple of things with you. I'm really excited about this new journey. What you're gonna see from me this year, if God's willing. I'm working on a podcast. I'm hoping, praying. I've been preparing for it. Sometime this spring, if not sooner. I've started already building. This is going to be my studio. So I have a lot of redoing in this thing that I'm going to do. But I got equipment coming in. I got all that good stuff coming in, because I'm trying to find out the best way to deliver this message that God has given me. So I really would like you guys' support. This is going to be put on YouTube. And I really want you guys to help me build my YouTube channel. So what I'm asking you is simply this. I don't care if you love or if you made it this far. Listen. Share the video. Okay. Like and subscribe my channel. I think I'm going to be changing the name to it, so just be aware of that. Once you see this video, it will be changed. But like the channel, subscribe to the channel, okay? Share it, recommend it. This is what I know for sure, okay? I'm not manufacturing anything else. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm waiting to hear from God, and God has opened the floodgates up for this season, and I'm ready to receive what He has. So it's going to be a benefit to you, and I'm excited about that. Okay, see, you say, why are you so excited? What is it about my relationship? Why does it mean so much to you? Man, I'm so glad you asked that, because it's real simple. See, I believe that in order that God's way of building the kingdom was through families, and I believe that's why we get attacked like we do, is because Satan knows that God's kingdom is grown through family. So right now we're looking at over 50% of marriages is going to end up in a divorce. So I gotta talk to these babies. I want you to understand. Listen, I gotta talk to you. But listen, the first thing that you need to do If you're the mother or the father of that child, or you the child itself, if you got somebody in your family member that in your family that is saying, listen, I plan on, or we plan on getting married, get them this book. If you got a teenager that that's dating, okay, and hopefully you're teaching them how to date with a purpose. One of the things I told my kids was that we're not practicing, we're dating with a purpose. I'll do a video about that because I believe that a lot of parents need to understand that. Okay, because you're wondering why your sons and daughters, especially your daughters, aren't married, is because of the way they dated. And we need to talk about that because we got to build up the kingdom. And we'll talk about that. Okay, maybe we'll talk about it on my podcast. But however it goes, man, we definitely need to have that conversation. But I need you to go to my website, the Power to website. The website is www.thepowerof2x.com. X like an X-ray. Okay, so it's www.thepowerof2, the number 2, x.com. Okay, I'll put the link in. I'll put the link up somewhere. And go get this book. It's $15.95. Click on the link to purchase. It's going to take you to an Amazon account, and then you can purchase it from Amazon. They have it shipped right out to you. If you want to DM me, you can also DM me, and I can have it sent out to you as well. Okay. And this one here is this is our new shirt. I hope you guys can see it. This man, I hadn't even fully got these going yet. I am waiting. Probably tomorrow. This is like a I ain't gonna say a prototype, but it is a prototype. But it's gonna look just like this. But I'm gonna actually start printing these tomorrow. I got my schedule cleared out to where I'm gonna get these going, so they're gonna be up and ready for sale. This is our love edition. Okay. Last month we had the silver and gold, the gold and silver edition that did well. Thank you guys for all the ones who purchased that. And the gift box, man, we got a gift box that's gonna come. I am collaborating with Something Amazing Treats. Shout out to my sister Vicky Kurt May. She have put together some amazing things that's going to be included in our gift box. Of course, you're going to get the book. You're going to get T-shirts. You're going to get wine glasses. You're going to get treats. You're going to get all this stuff, man. Because we wanted to do something really special, and because I got an amazing sister, she said, "Hey, Eric, why don't you give these guys a free vacation?" And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Yeah." So we're looking for details on that. So listen, guys, I'm excited about it because not only are you gonna get the book, you're gonna go on vacation. Okay, you're gonna read this book while you're on vacation. You're gonna sport your love shirt. Okay, you're gonna represent. You're gonna take a picture. You're gonna send it to me. Okay, I'm gonna repost it. You're gonna be doing all of that, man, and you're gonna be doing it. You're gonna be doing it on a vacation, guys. So I'm excited about that. So I'll post more details on that, but make sure that you go to the website. Make sure that you support. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And listen, this is not a message for non-believers, okay? But if you got any type of faith in you, then this is a message for the ones who believe in the kingdom, the ones who believe that God is God, the ones who have said that that I have Maybe you don't see that you have work to do in the kingdom. I get that, okay? But you do know that there is a kingdom, and what I'm telling you that this is a charge for you to make a stand and say, you know what, man, I know the church is suffering violence right now. I know that the divorce rate is just as high in the church that it is in the world. But you're saying that you're going to make a stand and you're going to say, I'm going to hold up this banner of righteousness, and you're going to say to all the ones who look at you and laugh at you and mock at you and say, you know what, there is no God. The ones that look at you and say, if there was a God, why do you hurt the way that you hurt? Man, you hurt, your marriage is no different than mine. See, what you want to do is make a decision to where you're going to stand up and maybe, and listen, I know if you're anything like me, you're going to feel like that you're in this thing by yourself. You're going to feel like, what's the point? What's the use? But what I want you to know is, baby, we coming hard. There's a remnant out there, and it's for just such a time as this. There's some people that has just been sitting there over in the wilderness somewhere, and see. But I promise you, I looked at this thing, and one of the things that I noticed while I was, in my sick bed, I started looking at some people. People start sending me different videos to watch and stuff like that, different clips and different clubhouses. And I said, man, I'm not out here by myself. Man, there's a lot of people out here, and they'd encourage me. And I want to encourage you that, man, it may not. Listen, I know that it's dark outside. I know that it's dark inside. But I want you to know that joy comes in the morning. So once again, my name is Eric Kirk. I am your relationship coach. I'm also the author of The Power of Two. God bless you. God keep you in my prayer. Amen.